Another thing from this Angie Martinez interview that I found kind of interesting, and I never really thought of it like this. Now, you know how like people always say Lil Wayne saved Cash Money? Like Cash Money was fucking going under, and Lil Wayne came and he basically saved the day. And he really did. I don't think anyone can argue that. Lil Wayne saved Cash Money. All right, period. But then Mase actually said something that was quite similar to that. But you know, with Bad Boy, of course. Check this out.
You know, doing music with Puff. A lot of the songs, I came to Puff with those songs.
Done.
People, they never give me credit for that. All my awards went to Puff. I wrote all those songs.
More Money, More Problems.
Yeah, but that was on Big Album.
Right.
So that was songs I had as my single that they gave the Biggie.
Got it.
For his album.
Mm-hmm. Do you not get paid for those even now?
Yes, but I'm saying, like, if you knew that Mase was the one doing all of that, you would see me in a different light. Even today, people praise Bad Boy. The real golden era of Bad Boy, I was spearheading.
Mm-hmm.
Biggie made it. And I'm not, you know, Biggie
taking
is Biggie.
away, right? You're not taking away.
I'm under
nothing.
Biggie. I'm nowhere near Biggie.
Right.
I gotta catch myself so somebody catch that and try to run with it.
Right.
No, I'm saying,
good catch.
I'm
Good
saying
catch.
when Biggie passed away,
right,
and the company is in ambiguity, and everybody is lost and in shambles. It was my pen that made Bad Boy rise to the occasion.
Mm-hmm.
It was my style, to the point you think I was following Puff, and that was my style. I'm being number 2 on my own intelligence. That's a team play.
I feel like that line really bothered you.
What?
You number 2 in your own videos.
No, not really.
Because I don't know.
I wore
number
number 2 in 22.
Okay.
And when I wore it 2, to me it means second to nobody.
You guys remember that shit though, right? In the Can't Nobody Hold Me Down video with Puff and Mase, they were wearing the jerseys, and Puff had the number 1 and Mase had the number 2. And I was always kind of like, why would you be okay wearing the number 2 in a video? Like, I mean, I don't know. It was always weird to me. That's just like admitting that I'm number 2. And I like Mace's little spin on it, second to no one. And I have a feeling that wasn't his spin. I have a feeling that was Diddy's spin. That's how Diddy, you know, got away with it. Diddy was like, yo, we're going to wear these jerseys in this Can't Nobody Hold Me Down video. But check this out, though. Check this out. Can't nope. You know what I mean? He does licking the lips with his buck teeth and shit. You remember how Diddy used to have some fucked up teeth. But the point is I could see Diddy putting the spin on it. He's like, yo, it's my album, the No Way Out album. Of course I'm gonna be number 1. And you know he always thought of himself as number 1. He came out with the Public Enemy number 1 on his second album. But I digress. The point is I could see Diddy saying, yo, I'm gonna be number 1. You're gonna wear number 2, but don't worry. I know you wrote the whole record, but this is what number 2 means, second to no one. And it's interesting because, and please, internet, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never heard that before. I've never heard Diddy say it. I've never heard Mase say it, where the number 2 meant second to no one. Never heard it, ever. Which is ridiculous, because how the fuck does that mean you're second to no one when the man right next to you is actually wearing a number 1 on his jersey? But anyway, see, I'm going on a rant here. The point is, with that little clip there, Mase saying he saved Bad Boy. And I would like to think that he did, because at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, when Bad Boy first popped and he had like Craig Mack, you know, we had Mary J. Blige and everything like that. Mary was, you know, she was obviously pushing numbers, fucking Mary J. Blige. But Craig Mack, he had flavor in your air. That's it. So then Biggie came along and he soared. He saved the label. He was the first one to save the label. Biggie saved Bad Boy. Biggie put Bad Boy in the history books. Mase did not do that. All right? Like, people will forever talk about Bad Boy records because of Biggie Smalls. Period. Just like they will forever talk about Death Row records because of Tupac. I mean, come on. You think Death Row, you think Tupac. You think Bad Boy, you think Biggie. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? So yes, Biggie Smalls saved Bad Boy first and he put them in the history books. However, when Biggie, got murdered, R.I.P. God bless the dead. God bless the dead to Pac as well. It was Mase. What the fuck else was going on over at Bad Boy? Like, yes, I know there was Total. Yes, I know there was 112. There was a lot of acts over there. All right. But it was Mase. When Mase came through, remember the remix, the 112 remix? You remember that shit, right? Yes, I know Biggie was on the record, but Mase came through and killed that shit. And then when Biggie passed, and then the Feel So Good, I think it was called, the Bad Boy record, that was it. This guy was to the fucking moon. Diddy came along. He had the shiny shoots and the shiny suits. He got Mase to dance and everything. And it sounds like if you let Mase tell it, that was his whole blueprint. It wasn't really Diddy that kind of made him do that shit. It was Mase. Mase came with the game plan. So, I mean, if you look at what Mase is saying as a whole, from, selling a lot of records, because that Harlem World album went quadruple platinum. That's just the album as itself. I don't have the numbers for the singles, but I imagine the singles did very well. Right? Feels So Good. Tell Me What You Want. Then he had Looking At Me. That was like Neptunes. That was their first big break. 24 Hours to Live. DMX popped off that shit. You know what I mean? So if you look at the numbers, like numbers wise, yes, Mase definitely brought that back up. Style, influence, Mase brought that back up. Mase was saying some shit like how the more money, more problems, more money, more problems, that Biggie record, he was saying that was his record. And I would believe that. Like, that's not the first time that something like that has happened. Like, go back and you look at 50 Cent and you look at The Game, like The Game's first album. Like, this is on record. You guys can look this shit up. The Game has said this himself. That a lot of those records on that album, 50 Cent gave to The Game. I'm not saying he wrote it. Like, that's a completely different conversation. I'm just talking about the records, the beats, the skeleton. The hooks. This is How We Do. Higher. Hate It or Love It. Like, these are all 50 Cent records. So these are records that could have went, and he gave them to The Game. So I definitely believe when I hear shit like, Mase say things like this, that he gave those records to other artists that were supposed to be for him. And again, that's Mase saying, yo, my shit's doing well. Let me help the other artists on this label to get this label to pop. Let's get this label back where it needs to be. So it's crazy, man, because I never really thought of it like that until Mase laid it out. But